Sultan-ul-Uloom College of Pharmacy recently organized a workshop on clinical pharmacist intervention for Pharm D, M Pharm, pharmacy practice, and final year B Pharm students. After the workshop, Dr. Juzer Sabuwala, an alumni of the college and a registered pharmacist in Canada, shared his real educational journey with the students. Through his true life story, Dr. Juzer Sabuwala delivered a powerful message to junior students: never give up. His words clearly reflected that even after completing education, guidance and support from Sultan-ul-Uloom College of Pharmacy and its principal continue for former students. Do watch this video. Dr. Juzer Sabuwala also spoke about his experience with the PEBC examination and the challenges he faced, inspiring students to stay focused, patient, and determined. For more informative and inspiring videos, follow the Mags Horizon Instagram page and don't forget to subscribe to the Mags Horizon YouTube channel.
My name is Juzer Sabuwala, and I'm a PharmD graduate from Sultan-ul-Uloom College of Pharmacy. I would like to just share initially before I start my journey the importance of attending these sessions. So, I was like you guys waiting in a seminar hall, and I met someone from Canada that ma'am had called on to, and I'm grateful to her for that because I spoke to him. I got in touch with him, and he was the same person with whom I was there in Canada initial days, and he was the one who guided me for the whole steps. Yes, and he was a 2002 passed out B Farm graduate, and his name was Ashraf Zohair. So he was there with me along with my licensing journey. He was the one who picked me up from airport, and I stayed with him initially for the 7 days in Canada. So this is the importance of attending these sessions, is what I would say. And yeah, I'm thankful to ma'am for that. And before I start sharing my journey, I would like to share how I did. So I did my PharmD 6 year course from here. Starting, I had the best lecturers: Ashfaq sir, Mansoor sir, Hussain sir, and Jafar sir. Farsia ma'am was there. All were welcoming, and they all used to respect our desire to learn, not only just the educational part, but also the other parts where you get involved. So I started my journey in second year, where I used to go along with my sister as well. She was a physician, so I had the opportunity to learn more, I would say, and that is how I completed my PharmD. And I did my internship in one of the hospitals, and I was hired there later, where I worked 2 years as a clinical pharmacist. And apart, as we shared with you, one of the major important works of a PharmD graduate, what they can do, and as a working as a clinical pharmacist, what we can do is what was shown. And during my second year is when I met Dr. Karthik sir, and he was the one who was teaching all the students. We actually kind of were little bit confused on what we were doing and what we used to do. So he was also the one who showed us the right path, like on how to practice, making sure we are making the most out of our hospital visits, and also practicing in our maximum limits. So I used to attend his seminars, his webinars, like almost for 3, 4 years, I would say. 3, 4 years I was connected to sir, and then after my graduation, I was involved as a speaker as well in quite a few sessions. So thank you to Dr. Karthik sir for that. And then I think after 2 years, when I completed my work part in India, I decided to move to Canada. So here comes the interesting part. Everyone said me that going on a student visa would not be an ideal option. To be honest, just saying this right now, that I did not intend to go on a student visa. It's just the PR took a lot of time. So I did opt for student visa. A, it was expensive, it's super expensive. B, it wasn't helping me in my career growth, but I did take that as an entry there. And I did my education, I think, without any break. I did not take any break because what happens in Canada is there you can either take a break of 6 months, and you can complete your course in 2 years. Ideally, that's how it has to be done. But what I did was I completed the course in 1.5 year without stopping, and it's that time when I started my PBC journey. So before that, I would just like to share the initial struggle, because we always find the other side grass greener when we kind of hear any stories about abroad. So I would like to share a few initial struggles that I had. So once I reached to Canada, firstly, I've never been out. I've never left my parents. I'm the only child right now, like only son, I would say. And the thing is, the constant reminders from your parents that we are alone, that hits you hard. The next thing is the financial part. The moment you reach there, you start spending in dollars. You what you have earned in rupees gets spent in dollars, and that starts making some troubles initially. So I started working as a server, as a dishwasher, and then I got into pharmacy. So there are days when you feel that doing whatever you were doing back home was good, whatever you were earning was better back home. At least you were with your parents, but again it depends on what your end goals are and where you intend to practice. So initially 2 years would be the worst, I would say, whenever you're moving to a new country. Firstly, handling the soft racism that you get. Secondly, handling the communication part. Thirdly, the jobs and handling your finances. And I think after 1.5 year, I applied for my first step. I still remember I used to text faculty, and I also texted Anupama ma'am for that. So I was like kind of apprehensive whether to give it or earn money, earn that money and spend on it, because each and every exam that you spend money for, it's out of your pocket, not that is you're getting something from your home. So surviving there or spending that or paying your course fees, because you have taken another course as well while going outside. So managing all that was the most challenging part, I believe, that I had. So PEBC, I would like to share some part of what PEBC is as well. So PEBC is a certification that you get to do in Canada. Once you start the certification, you should complete that in a span of 5 years. If you have given an exam that you have cleared, and if you don't clear the rest in 5 years, that will stand invalid, and you have to apply again for the exam, and you have to start your process again. So ideally, every exam requires 6 months for you to give and for you to study. The first step is the step that is, it's usually on a lighter note, where you study everything from the course that you have studied, but it is kind of superficial. And so I gave my first step. I remember is when I was preparing for my final exams of the course that I took, that I intended not to do, but I had to do. So I did that, and I cleared my first step at that time. Then the second step is the most challenging part, I would say. That is the MCQ. It's a heavily clinical based exam, where it is choose the correct answer type of questions, where you have time limitation. At the same time, it is kind of super deep into the clinical aspects. You will have case scenarios, you will have explanations on how first line therapy, second line therapy. So you should be aware about clinical aspects. And here comes the most difficult part. And this part made my preparation altogether most difficult is, if you fail the second part or the third part in the first attempt. Sorry, if you don't clear that in the first attempt, you have to do a bridging course. It is also known as International Pharmacy Graduate Program, or it is also known as IPG. So when you do IPG, it's a 1 year course. You have to pay another 16 to $17,000 Canadian dollars for that course. And after you complete the course, you have to reappear for the exam. And every exams that you give, like all the steps, there are just 3 attempts for you to give it. And if you don't clear that in 3 attempts, you should ideally then opt for assist. There's a course known as technician as well. So if you lose it in 3 attempts, you have to do it. as an assistant or as a technician. So if you don't clear it in first attempt, you have to do a costly course, a time consuming course, and after that you have to appear for the exam again. This is for most of the provinces, but there are some provinces where they accept without the course, and that is the countries where there's the provinces where the weather is extreme. Like if you go outside, even your eyelashes kind of freeze out. That's around -35, -40 is the temperature there. There's the Yukon side, it's the north side of Canada, and there is where you can go, and that is not ideal, but that is how you can surpass that loop. And then comes the third step. The third step is again a clinical based setup that usually involves counseling. As we had a discussion today with the group that we were there, I shared how the counseling is also done. So the counseling is the most heavily requested part. As I shared you with you, one patient who had TB was prescribed rifampin, and the pharmacist there did not counsel them on the orange discoloration of the eye soft lens and the urine, and he had that, and he stopped the medication, getting alarmed because of that. And after that the treatment was stopped in midway. For that reason the patient had sued the pharmacist for not sharing that information. So that is kind of the stricter regulations practice is there. And whatever you're studying clinically right now will be something that you'll be using when you practice.